Hello and welcome back to the Gauntlet of Greatness. I'm Randy Buehler, joined by my normal partner in crime, Shadow Nutella. How are things?
Everything's good.
Things are good. We are playing the Gauntlet of Greatness. 16 of the best standard decks of all time have been assembled to battle to see which one is the best. We're in Group B today, where we're about to watch the battle between the two losers from the first week of Group B action. Watch the two winners. The two winners, we were a little surprised that Mythic is not playing this game, but in fact, it got upset by Dragonstorm, and Dragonstorm can now make the playoffs if it can beat the Faeries deck. Faeries, meanwhile, just keeps chugging along, would also love that playoff spot. The loser still gets to play for playoff spot next week. 0-2 gets you relegated, 2-0 gets you into the playoffs, and the two 1-1 decks from each group battle for the second playoff spot. The other groups, Group A has been halfway resolved. Necro is in the playoffs, Sly's been relegated, it'll be Tinker versus Rebels for the other spot. Meanwhile, in Group C, Affinity or Incallblade will play for spot, while Rexer and Jund try not to get kicked out of Season 4. Group D is the cool one, or the weird one, depending on your perspective. I don't love Black Devotion's chances, but we'll see what happens. I just mostly want to look forward to playing Turbo Stasis again. And then Delver and Bargain will battle for a playoff spot. So, in this match, we just talked about it. Here's your big, pretty picture. Faeries and Dragonstorm. Going for it. Here's the Dragonstorm deck. It's the one Makihito Mahara used to win Worlds. Pretty straightforward. Dragonstorm says, Storm, go get a dragon. So the deck is basically designed to get to 9 mana and to play 3 other spells on the way there. Rite of Flame, Lotus Bloom, Seething Song, Telling Time and Sleight of Hand will help you dig for stuff. Remand slows the other guy down a little bit. And the anti-control plan, which is pretty relevant to this matchup, is tap all of their lands during their end step with a Giga Drowse. And since it's Replicate, each of those is a different copy. So it's really hard for the control deck to keep mana untapped if it wants to try to interact with you on the turn where you're going off. The deck I'm playing, Fairy deck. This is aggro control at its best. Thought Seizes, Bitter Blossoms. I mean, the terrors aren't great here, but sometimes you need to kill a dragon. The permission at this point in Standard isn't... The cheap permission's not great. It's Rune Snag, but Cryptic Command is obviously awesome. And then, you know, Mistbind, Scion of Una, Spellstutter Sprite. So that's the Faeries deck. I'm going to set up a match. Alright, we'll play with 60-minute clocks just to make sure we don't have to worry about it. And match hosted, Shadow.
I'm coming to get you.
Alright, I'm going to mute you. We can talk some more after the match.
Sounds good.
Alright. Let's fight. Yeah, this Faeries deck, it does feel almost like a modern deck in terms of power level, but it's a bad modern deck. I don't know if that makes up for it. Winning the die roll is good. Oh, wow. Turn 1 Thoughtseize has to be good against him. I don't have a Bitter Blossom, but I'm going to have Thoughtseize into Spellstutter. The terrors are bad. I think Wow, I can't mulligan turn 1 Thoughtseize, can I? I don't think I can mulligan turn 1 Thoughtseize. Against a combo deck? I kind of need to draw some offense, though. And I am kind of down these terrors. It's just the other cards are so good. Okay, we take the Dragonstorm. That's easy. You basically can't win without it. He's down to Telling Time, Hunted Dragon. Yeah, I mean, that's why I kept the hand. One Dragonstorm can do a lot of damage over there, so. I guess I can't quite get the Telling Time with the Spellstutter Sprite, which is annoying. I could get a Sleight of Hand if he draws one of those. Mew Vault would let me get Telling Time. That'd be a good draw. Oh, Rune Snag. My approach with the permission in this matchup is just point at whatever you can get. Because the big key turn, he's usually going to be able to defend it with a Giga Drowse. So I just fight the card drawing along the way. and try to prevent him from ever stitching everything together for that one big turn. I mean, I think I would do that in general, even if I hadn't seen his hand. Given that I saw his hand, though, I know how bad his position is. I think that makes me even more excited about counterspelling a Telling Time. And his hand just doesn't have any offense yet because it has these dorky terrors. Yeah, storage land, storage land. Storage lands are pretty good, especially in this deck. Kind of build up mana. You only really have that one key turn, so you're excited to build up mana. Ah, there we go. It's less than ideal that I have to tap away from permission to do it, but given how bad his hand was 3 turns ago, I struggle to imagine him being able to stop this. He should just remand it if he's got it. Yeah, it's pretty good for him because I don't have the 4th land to replay it. I mean, what are you going to do? Now I feel like a 4th land is pretty much the game. And I might not even need to draw it, depending on how bad his hand is. Still no 4th land, but I got to get it off. I want to get a clock on the board. And I just struggled. His draws would have to be so perfect for him to be set up to go for it here, given all the stuff we took away from him. Yeah, land coming into play tapped. Usually a sign that he's not ready to go for it. So, Bitter Blossom online. Still would love a 4th land. Misbind click. Even more reasons to want a 4th land rather than 3 terrors. It's going to be hard to win if my terror count stays equal to my land count. Although maybe we have a shot this game. There's no way to just drop down Spellstutter Sprite, is there? Okay. Land, please. Thank you. All right, now I just misbind him, right? Tap all his lands on his upkeep? I'm willing to lose a Fairy Road for this, right? Seems like the play. If he remands me, that'll be annoying, but what are you going to do? Oh, remand me and then go off? That seems... I mean, I'm gifting him a Storm count, I guess. If he remands me, he's got 1, 2, 3. He still doesn't have it. There's a chance this is too aggressive. But it just cuts his clock by so many turns. Yeah, he's just going to make a depletion counter. This is what I thought was going to happen. I would like to tap your lands. Now I get to untap with either Runesnag plus Spellstutter or Cryptic. And I get to start hitting him. I'm basically a 3-turn clock now. Helps. I don't think it gets my clock down to 2 turns. Maybe it does. All right. Can you kill me? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, it's still 2 turns. Spellstutter Shred would be 9. Spellstutter Sprite into Scion of Una would be the game. Oh, well, I'm countering that. Right. Yeah, totally countering that. This actually lets me... I still have Rune Snag up. And it makes Scion of Una a lethal draw. Yeah, we kept Thoughtseize. 2 terrors. Land, Cryptic Command. That doesn't look like that's worth a Rune Snag, especially since he can pay. Now, how much mana does he have? Do I Rune Snag yet? I think I might have to. Right now, he has 1, 2, 3, 4. How does this work? It's pay 1 to remove, so he's only got 8 mana. I think he's screwed either way. If he pays 4, he's down man. He can't cast a Dragonstorm, and if he doesn't pay 4, he also can't cast a Dragonstorm. I think he's actually short 1 either way. Now, if he's got more rituals and a Dragonstorm, then hats off to him, right? He stitched it all together. I mean, I countered twice. I think countering the sleight of hand is correct. Like I said, it gives me draws to kill him next turn, and it stops him from digging. Yeah, I don't regret countering that. I mean, now that I see Ritual, like if I know his hand is Rite of Flame, Dragonstorm, then it becomes interesting. Okay, he just declined to pay, but I'm pretty sure he's short here. Yeah, okay. Scion of Una for the win? Or do I have to lean on this Cryptic Command? Oh, it does still have 9. Damn it. He's not short. Oh, because it's colon. Wow, we lose. Holy shit. Can't believe we lost this game. I countered the big ritual. If I had spell stuttered the Rite of Flame instead of the Sleight of Hand, but I can't just let him Sleight of Hand there, right? He's played the whole game to try to stitch this thing together after Thoughtseize and a crappy draw. I think I'm supposed to counter Sleight of Hand there. Like the psychic play would be counter both Rite of Flames. If I counter both copies of Rite of Flame, then he doesn't have the 9 mana for Dragonstorm. Wow. I guess I could have used Cryptic Command to bounce his storage land, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Rite of Flame. He's got it anyway. I mean, I think he can get to 9. If I tap out from main phase Cryptic Command, I think he gets to 9 anyway. Crazy. Well, I mean, I guess I knew I wasn't keeping a great draw. And I knew that. But Flash Freeze and Thoughtseize is spectacular against him. Flash Freeze is good against him. Terrors are not good against him. I mean, occasionally we'll get these games where he resolves a dragon and I kind of want to get it the hell out of my way. I feel like those games are super rare. And just not worth having terror in my deck. I mean, I have permission for the dragons in that scenario. I even have Cryptic Command for dragons in that scenario. Dragonstorm deck's pretty good. Yeah, if I was Psychic, I wouldn't have counted the Slight. I would have saved Spellstutter Sprite for the first Rite of Flame. But not Psychic, turns out. There's no way to... I'm keeping this hand, right? Yeah. But there's no way to play the Ancestral Visions on the first turn, right? Because if I play this, then it makes black mana. If I play this, then it comes into play tapped. Still a fine draw. So what? I play the Conclave, and then turn 2, this makes black for Bitter Blossoms. Sounds right. All right, Bitter Blossoms, off to the races. This draw looks pretty good, right? I have turn 2 Scion of Una. I have Mistbind Click as soon as I draw land. Draw's great. I mean, obviously, it would have been slightly better if that was an island, but what are you going to do? Interesting. So I play second Bitter Blossoms and Ancestral Vision instead of Scion of Una? It's probably right. It seems pretty good. Yeah, I think second Bitter Blossom is better than Scion. Might get it remanded. No, not getting it remanded. Whole tournament is not getting played out at once. We play 2 matches a week. Tournament will play out over the course of a couple of months. You can catch up on all the videos from these from this tournament over on the Card Kingdom website or on YouTube. I mean, Card Kingdom has them all on their YouTube page. So it's pretty easy to catch up. You can even go back and watch Season 1 and Season 2 if you like. Season 1 was also Historical Standard. It was won by the Memory Jar deck that was legal and standard for a grand total of 3 weeks before the card Memory Jar was emergency banned. And then Season 2 was Modern decks, current Modern decks. Interesting. I can Scion or Thoughtseize? Actually, oh, if I can... No, I can't Thoughtseize. I have no black mana. Unless I play a land, which I can't do. So I think leaving up the threat of permission followed by a Scion feels better than attacking with Mutavault. If I had black mana, I could attack with Mutavault and Thoughtseize. I'm throwing away 1 damage by not going main phase Scion. But I think that that's worth it against him, especially on a turn where Lotus Bloom's going to resolve. Yeah, I mean, I would have Thoughtseized him here, except River of Tears only makes blue mana. Yeah, he's not going for it. I'm not putting him under any pressure, so I kind of didn't expect him to go for it there. Versus untapped mana. If I tapped out, maybe he decides he can't go for it. He's thinking, I guess he's got a remand? I don't know what else he'd be thinking about. Alright. Great. Now my guys have Shroud. Okay. Now we have a land. Hilarious. I can Mistbind Click him, or I can Thoughtseize plus attack with Mutavault. How much damage am I attacking for? 2, 4, 6. Mutavault would be 9, 10. So it's a 2-turn clock. I don't think Mistbind is worth it. Especially if I can get remanded. And then I've increased the storm count on his turn. This feels better. Oh, is he going to do it? He's got the sideboard tech! Oh, that's awesome. I mean, that's obviously terrible for me as the Faeries player, but how often do you get to see Ignorant Bliss do exactly what it was designed to do? All of his cards are going to leave play, and then at the end of my turn, he gets them back plus a card. So he effectively cantrip counters my Thoughtseize. Good beats. Let's look at his hand. What's he got? Where are his cards? Yeah, good beats. Wow, now, so I don't need to attack with Immutable, right? I should bluff permission. 2, 4, 6, 7. He doesn't feel the need to go for it. Put him at 12, and the next turn, it's lethal. I don't think 3 damage from the Mutavault changes the clock at all. And plus, he can see that I'm clearly choosing not to attack with Mutavault or Fairy Conclave. Why would I do that? I must have counter magic in my hand. Let's wait for next turn. Yeah. I could totally just lose here. He's got 7 mana as it sits. Storm count is 2. Really needs storm count of 3. One more spell. Like 1 ritual into a Dragonstorm. Has that got me? 7. Rite of Flame's not good enough. Seething Song into Dragonstorm kills us. Ignorant Bliss. That's really funny. Yeah, if he just goes Dragon... I mean, obviously he's worried about my permission. He's got it. I will think long enough that I might be debating a counter. Unbelievable. How about that? Dragonstorm, ladies and gentlemen. Bitter Blossom knocked us down where he only needs 3 copies, so Slight into Seething Song into Dragonstorm. Good enough. I never drew a counter. I could have gone for the Mistbind Click. Wow, that's both games where the Psychic play might have worked. Like, I decided Thoughtseize was better than Mistbind Click because of the danger of upping the storm count, which isn't super relevant. Yeah, I mean, I'm just dead. I'm not going to make him go through the motions here. Obviously, you guys see how the combo works, right? Every copy of Dragonstorm goes and gets a Bogardan Hellkite. Bogardan Hellkite deals 5 damage, divided however he chooses. He's going to choose, well, I mean, he may as well kill the Scion of Una, because why not? But he's going to choose to kill me. And 4 copies of Hellkite adds up to 20. In this case, because my Bitter Blossom has been damaging me, he only needs 3 copies of Bogardan Hellkite to finish me off. Wow. Good game. Turn your mic on, Shadow. Your mic's not on.
Good game. So I had only 2 Bogardan Hellkites in my deck, but I think I could have killed your 2 Fairy Rogues and then hasted over to finish you.
Oh, I needed to make you go through the motions?
Well, it wouldn't have mattered because I'd have 2 Bogardan. Like, you'd be down to 1.
You kill me anyway. Like, the hasty guy is 6 power. So...
Oh, he's 6 power. Yeah. That's enough to kill you.
Wow.
Because I do 2 and then 3. Yeah, just enough to kill you. No, you have a Fairy Conclave. You could sack it and then lose the game.
Yeah, I still lose the game to the Bitter Blossoms.
Yeah. So I could have went off the turn before.
Okay.
But it looked scary, and then I realized, well, I'm just dead.
Yeah.
So I just have to go. So obviously you were bluffing permission.
Yep. I could have played a Mistbind Click instead of that Thoughtseize. If I Mistbind Click instead of the Thoughtseize, then I can tap all your lands on your upkeep on that last turn. But I was like, Thoughtseize plus the ability to attack with Mutavault and threaten permission felt better to me than tapping out for a 4-mana spell during your upkeep. If you have a Remand, I've just tapped myself out for you. But it would have worked, right? Versus your hand.
Yes. Yeah, it would have worked versus my hand there.
Crazy. So both games...
Like if you're Psychic.
Go ahead.
If you're Psychic, then that
both
works.
Both games I had a Psychic play to win it. Because in the first game, if I don't Spellstutter Sprite the Sleight of Hand, I can Spell Stutter Strike the first Rite of Flame and then Rune Snag the second Rite of Flame. You can't get to 9 mana for Dragonstorm, right?
Correct.
I mean,
Absolutely.
unless you had a leftover ritual we didn't see in the first game.
No, it's possible that my sleight of hand finds one.
Right.
But it certainly was fishing for permission.
Right. But I mean, the fact that I think you're more likely to be short apart. I don't know. I said to myself that you're more likely to be short apart and need this to resolve than you are to just have it all already.
Sure. Yeah, I had it. And then you countered, and I had to count the math a lot. And I'm like, this counter doesn't actually work.
Well, I forgot that you can both tap the thing for mana and remove the counters from it, so I actually thought it was going to make you one short. But whatever. I'm still supposed to do it and hope you either mess it up or can't pay or whatever.
Yeah. And I had a Bogarden Hellkite in my hand, so if it did make me 1 mana short, I just would have cast the giant creature and killed a bunch of your dudes and had a blocker. It wasn't the best, but it was certainly an option. But I countered it again. When we played the practice matches, I realized I don't have to tap it to summon the mana off it, so we can just pay for itself to get a bunch of mana off it. So yeah. Yep.
Psychic Plays could have won me both those games, but I lost them both. Well played.
Yeah. Good game.
So Dragonstorm is through to the top 8. It will join the Necro deck, and somebody. I guess we know that it'll be the winner of the match between Faeries and Mythic. Good Lord, that's a match.
Yeah. Well, I want to see Faeries versus Mythic. I think Faeries might be able to actually pull that one off.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, Faeries was higher seeded. I don't know. Mythic was the highest seed. Faeries was the 2 seed. That's an interesting match.
Yeah. So 1 and 2 are battling it out.
Yeah.
To advance.
Yeah, because the 3 seed Dragonstorm was just show you both sides of my hand. Awesome.
Yeah, Dragonstorm can sometimes just win. I'm backed into a corner. Like I said, I'm going to get backed into a corner, then I'm going to try to go off and see what happens. It worked.
Good games.
Good games.